Some context for our listeners: at the UN in New York, after meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky, President Donald Trump declared that Ukraine can win all of Ukraine back in its original form, which listeners would remember is a sharp shift from earlier suggestions that Kiev should consider concessions to Russia. He framed Russia as a paper tiger, said NATO EU support can deliver a full Ukrainian victory, and hinted at tougher sanctions if Moscow refuses talks. Why does this all matter? Why am I interested in this? Well, it's a major rhetorical pivot by Washington's most important voice on the war, and it raises expectations, I think, in Kiev and in European capitals, while complicating Moscow's calculus on all of this. Guys, what are you making of this? Can we even believe this, or is it just yet another random U-turn that could quickly get undone?
I mean, I thought it was, look, I think, yes, on the one hand, it's Trump, pivoting 180 degrees, and he could easily pivot another 180 degrees back the other way. I think for me, the most interesting thing about it was it all goes back to, Trump's personality, right? Which is he can't feel like he's been slighted or offended. And clearly Putin thought he'd played him beautifully, and just maybe actually, he's kind of met his match as Putin in this, like, thinking that just turning up, lavishing praise on Donald Trump and all of that was going to be enough. And, clearly Trump did expect something from it. And I think the interesting thing that comes from this, and it's a bit like his speech at the UN, and what he said on the campaign trail, is for all of his many, many faults in many things, I think Trump genuinely does believe in kind of peace, right? He wants to end wars. All of his things about, I want to end wars. He does seem to genuinely want to end wars. Now, that's a really lovely thought that lots of people have. And, ending a war is a lot more complicated than that. But I thought, look, I think it's really interesting. Clearly, Zelensky has managed to charm him a bit as well. But I think just clearly people have been saying in his ear for a while now, this Putin guy's taking you as a fool. He's played you. He hasn't, he went back to Russia and increased the attacks, and that hasn't gone unnoticed. So the fact that he was saying, NATO should shoot down, countries in Europe should shoot down Russian jets, I thought was quite an escalation. So, I mean, I'm pleased he said it, because obviously we all want to see Ukraine freed. So, but I thought it was quite interesting. But just again, but it could be something different next week, right? And that's the problem here. So
a couple of things from me. We heard Zelensky speak. He spoke in the parliamentary chamber through the electronic screens, which was, unprecedented at the time. And then he spoke as well alongside the speaker in Westminster Hall. We were both there for that, and that was in person. But he is an absolutely stunning communicator.
yeah.
So we've seen what we've seen between him and Trump, but the quality of his ability to do that is absolutely fantastic. And then the other thing, with all these stories coming out today, Reuters are reporting on some of the gasoline shortages in some bits of Russia. I'm not suggesting they're going to run out, but there does seem to have been a bit of a shift that is starting to affect people's everyday lives. School buses perhaps not running, stuff like that. So the timing's interesting on that as well.
No, I think so too. Don't tell Joseph I just messed up the background for a second there, but he won't figure it out.
Oh, it keeps going on and off all the time. I think we just don't mention the background at all. It's
Joseph,
fine.
because he'll get
But
really.
I feel for people in Ukraine. I've been
Yeah,
to
no.
Ukraine. I went in 2023. I was there nearly a week. And you just, like, with the changes, and like Andrew said, the 180, it's unimaginable how that must feel for an everyday member of the public in Ukraine. Seeing these changes from week to week must be incredibly difficult.